morning, this is Kathy from Blissfully Yours, and I thought I'd show a little video. I'm going to make some wine soap this morning. If you hear noise in the background, it's just my two little boutique boys, the dogs. They're making noise because Dad just got up, so they're a little rowdy. Anyway, so I've got my equipment all here. I have to split the batch, so I've got a couple bowls here. I've got my titanium dioxide, which is the color lighter. I've got my oils are all melted. I've got my fragrance. Here is berry wine. I have my Merlot Sparkle Mica, which goes in half the batch. And then we've got our oils are melted, like I said, and we've got right here is our, we call it lye water, but actually this is wine today because we're making wine soap. So this is the wine with the lye. And the wine has been boiled to get rid of the alcohol, because otherwise when you mix the lye with the wine, it will like volcano on you, and you don't want that. So this is kind of a tricky soap to make. Just be very careful. Anyway, and then I've got my stick blender, my goggles, my gloves, of course, my spatulas, my molds are over here. I'll bring those over when I move some of this out of the way. And then I've got my sink filled with hot soapy water so that I can just put my dishes into there and let them soak as soon as I'm done with them. So we're going to get started. We're going to put on our goggles because we're going to be pouring our lye into the oils. And we pour it down slowly over the spatula so we don't get bubbles in our mixture. And we can like keep an eye on it. I'm making a double batch, so this is a really big pot. And this smells so good when it's done, but let me tell you, it's the worst smelling lye water when you're using wine. For some reason, I think I don't know, it's the wine. It makes it smell really bad when you start mixing the lye with it until it starts to cool down. And then it's okay. It doesn't smell so bad anymore. So, add in the sink. Now we're kind of mixing it up a bit just to incorporate it together. And then I'm going to get, well, it's muggy in here, my goggles are fogging up. Get my stick blender, and then you want to put it in at an angle and kind of swish it around to get the air bubbles out of the stick blender, because you don't want to blend in any air into your mixture. So I'm just going to blend this together until we get to what's called trace. It starts, you'll see it'll start sticking to the blender. So be very careful. You want to make sure you leave your blender in the mixture. You don't want to bring it out, because then you'll get stuff splashing all over the place. And this is a very dark soap, so you have to keep checking it once in a while. Stop and stir. Blend it some more. We drove out to Coyote Moon Winery yesterday. It was a really nice drive. For some reason our GPS took us along the back roads. So we saw the Amish from time to time. Thankfully we didn't see them around any blind curves. I think that's how they get hit sometimes. Anyway. You can see it's starting to thicken already. See how it's sticking to the blender? I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, we want to make sure all the oils are mixed in and incorporated. Kind of a little harder to tell with this. But you don't want to go too thick, because then you're going to have trouble getting it into the mold. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen here. I think think we're pretty close here. Yeah, it sticks to the blender. We're getting really close. It's a big batch, so it's taking a little bit longer. So I think we're pretty good here. I'm gonna get a paper towel. I'm gonna set my, yeah, that's good. We're gonna set this on the towel. And then I have to split this into 2 equal parts, or fairly equal. So I have to be very careful. Pour off half into this bowl. Look at how thick that is. So there's that. And then I'm going to pour the rest into this one. Hopefully it all fits. I think it'll fit. Like I said, this is a big batch. See, it's really thickening up already. Get out as much as we can here. So, there's that. So, in part of this, we're putting 1 tablespoon, actually 3, we'll do 3 in this one. This is probably, because it's a double batch. And then the remainder goes in this one. Because you want one part of the batch to be lighter than the other. So we're going to get a little whisk and whisk that in. So, see how that's making it a lighter color. Be very careful when you're whisking. So this one, we're also going to add 2 teaspoons of the Merlot Mica. Could have that pretty color. Get that out of the way. Kind of carefully get that incorporated. You don't want it to poof out on you. And then you can start mixing that in really well. Trying to get it into all of your soap. I can't wait to pour the fragrance in because I love the fragrance. Oh, it smells so good. And I have to say, 99% of the people I have had smell this soap at the boutique love it. There's the rare ones, as I look at my husband, that don't like this soap. It's not their thing. But he's like into the tropical fruity scents, you know, so that's his thing. Anyway, so we're going to mix this one up too. We're not putting any Merlot Mica into this one. It's going to be a different color, just more brownish. And the other one's a little more winey colored. Winey. Winey, like my puppies were last night. Huh. Yeah, you guys were naughty. My son comes in the middle of the night and wakes them up. That's pretty good. So then we're going to take, and this we might have to start moving quick on. We're going to take half of our berry wine fragrance, pour that in. Let me see what we got left there. There. And then we're going to pour the rest into here. And give that a good stir, because you want that into, oh, that smells so good. And I've got 2 loaf molds ready for this. I might have extra, so I've got some little flower shaped molds out just in case I go over what is in the loaves. Oh, this is looking good, you guys. And it's smelling good. And it's not thickening too fast yet. I should knock on wood. So I think we're going to be okay pouring. Oh, just love the color on this one, don't you? Can you see that? I hope you can see that. It's hard for me to see what's on there. Okay, so I'm gonna go get my molds here. So I've got 2 loaf molds, and you get about 10 bars out of each loaf. So what I'm gonna do first is pour some of this dark very carefully into the bottom. I'm going to make a good layer. I'm going to get my other mold over here and pour some into that. About the same. And then we're going to get our light, which is really, see, look, it's thickening up. Stir it a little bit. And we're going to pour that a little bit over a spatula, hopefully gracefully, so it lays on top and makes the second layer. And we'll do it in the other one. I'm kind of tamp it down a little bit, just to get all the air bubbles out. And then we're going to go back to our dark and carefully pour over another good layer on top of the light. That's all we're doing, is layering. Very carefully. Put a little bit more on this side. And we'll tamp that one down. And we're going to go back to the light. See where I'm going with this? On top of this one. And we're going to be really careful because we're getting to the top of our mold. And I'm going to have extra. And that's why I took out my, flower molds. Try and spread this a little, see it's getting really thick. And then we'll tamp it a bit. is I'm going to take just some of this and like spoon it down the center. Just move it to the dark here. I'm going to set this in here. And I'm just going to spoon some down the center. Just to add some interest to the top. And maybe I can do some texturing. To the top. So, get a spoon. Go back and forth a little over the top just to add some interest. And this one. You see how it's thickening on top? Makes it more fun to do this kind of thing. And I had a little girl at last week's class. I should say little. She was probably the oldest one there. Hi, if you're watching, this is what you're interested in. The natural soap making. I'll have to talk to you this week. Let's see if maybe sometime you want to come over here and like watch me. It's fun to do this in person, you know, and it's not something I can really do at the boutique. So I get some little peaks going here. My husband loves it when I use these molds because he says they turn into such pretty bars of soap. So I think we're good on those. So I'm going to move those to the side. And I'm going to bring over my little flower molds. I'm going to put these on the table here. Let me see, be careful. So here I've got some flower molds already because I knew, oh, this is really thick. I knew I would have extra. Just kind of stirring it to get it to loosen up again so I can put it into some of these molds. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of get a little bit of both colors going in here. And I have this setting on a cookie sheet to give it support because I'm going to need to kind of bang it down a little bit just to settle the soap into the mold. Because we don't want any little air pockets. So see, bang it down a bit. And I guess my pouring wasn't so even because I've got more of this one. So I might have some bars that are just all the more Merlot color. I just love the smell of this. So, and I'll probably be selling these these particular bars in about 6 weeks, so you know you're looking mid-September, because they need to harden, cure into a nice hard bar of soap. And that way they last longer. Especially if you buy one of the little bamboo, or not bamboo, they're wood, soap dishes that I sell, or if you have one of your own, you keep them up out of the water and they will last much longer. There's the dogs are going at it again. Try and get as much of this out as you can. I only have one more mold, but I think I can top these off. Lower. Maybe this one. Okay, I think we're good. We'll bring that down more. Now these will need to sit for a while before you unmold them. You say at least a day, up to 3 days. I think usually I don't go 3 days. I go a day. Sometimes I'll go 2 days. But and especially with these ones I can probably unmold tomorrow. So anyway, we'll videotape when we pop them out of the mold, and I'll videotape again when I'm cutting the loaves, so that you can see me cutting them. And I always have extra gloves on hand, because when you do your dishes, it's a good idea to do them with your gloves on, because you know this still might be a little hard on your skin. So better safe than sorry. Anyway, that's my little video for today. We'll get back to you with another little video probably tomorrow, where I pop them out of the mold and do some cutting. Thanks, and have a great day.